started getting recruited, it was like, oh, you think I'm good enough? I'm like, all right, I think I'm good enough too, because my high school team wasn't that good, which we had talent, we just wasn't organized enough, or we just wasn't consistent enough. And, you get overlooked because if you don't make it to the playoff, the colleges aren't recruiting. But they had D3 college fairs where other schools come down to South Florida to, just recruit players that, fell through the crack. And I was one of those. And those guys were like, hey, we want you to come up for a visit. And I was like, all right, a free flight to check out a college? Sure, why not? Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. How many schools did you visit?
I visited Norwich University, and, I ended up going there for my first year. It didn't transfer to Mount Union.
And where's what's it?
That was in Vermont. Norwich University is in Vermont, and that was like a military school. But I was like, they were like, hey, you don't have to be in the military. You just come up, go to school, get your grades, and play football and work out, and stay out of trouble, and just be a good model citizen. I was like, all right, sounds fair enough.
So your thought was, hey, so you wanted to play football. There were no real Power 5 offers or big offers. You kind of fall through.
No chance.
This place calls and you say go to Vermont. Was it even a second? Was it like?
Well, I was questioning, but I didn't have much question because there were other schools beating down my door like, hey, we want you. Like you get letters, but you have to follow up, and they're not recruiting you heavy. It's like, hey, do you want to come or not? And I'm like, I don't have no other schools, and I can't stay here in West Palm Beach. Then, I just have to go, where I'm wanted, and then I'll work my way up somehow, some way.
You're from Belgrade. You don't play, formal high school football until junior, senior year. You go to the school in Vermont, then Mount Union, and now your quarterback is Peyton Manning.
Right.
Right. What was that experience like in totality? But just especially early on, were you awestruck? What was that like? What was it like?
Yeah, it was crazy because you're like, yeah, this is Peyton, and you're like, all right, hey Peyton, like what, like what's next? Like what do we do? I know him, he knows me, but I'm not sure he knows me. But I'm like, hey, I play receiver, and what do you need? Because we're teammates now. But it was like, all right, let me help you, however, because I want you to throw me the ball. Yeah. So what needs to be done? So that I catch the ball.
What did you kind of learn from him? I'm sure, we all know about his preparation and things like that. What was that experience like, seeing him prepare, and how do you think that made you kind of just a better overall player?
Nah, it was great because the whole organization was like that. It was like, be a professional, be prepared, be on time. It was like, hey, you're a professional. You always be professional, which means be prepared for anything and everything, which is your job. So it was like, hey, prepare, because this is what we're going to do. It might not come up right now, but be prepared for it because it's gonna come. And when it comes, we need you to be ready for it. We need you to be on top of it because it's gonna come, and it can be the difference of winning and losing. And I was like, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. So you had to study, in which, I realized like, hey, if you can take out all the distractions and study on your assignment, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
And it was in Miami too. Like, I grew up going down to Hard Rock Stadium, Joe Robbie Stadium, whatever they used to call it back then. Like, and like I'm in the Super Bowl, my mom's there, my family is there, and there's a touchdown. I scored a touchdown, and Peyton threw the ball.
Yeah. What else could you ask for?
Right. I can't even be mad.